questions.
Okay, so
and after I give the voice to Federico, and after to you, Xavier, if it's okay for you. Okay, let's start. Okay, thank you very much to be here online in presence, the public that is coming to our center, Espronceda, that is an Institute for Art and Culture in Barcelona. We are running several art programs, and we also working with European projects. One of them is this one that we are today, that is AI for Future, Artificial Intelligence for Future, that we want to combine art, activism, and artificial intelligence. And in the other hand, we have the pleasure to combine today the event with a new European Bauhaus initiative. And we are very grateful that to have today the Chief Officer of the new European Bauhaus, Mr. Xavier Trousseau. And now we are going to do introductory presentations, and later at 11 we have a panel discussion that we have a guest that comes from the City Council, that is Miquel Rodriguez. We have also people who came for international institutions like Daniel Sambleda for Leonardo International Society for Arts, Science and Technology. We have Dr. Pau Alsina, that is curator at City Science Bienal, that is happening next week in Barcelona. Also Rosana Dinuccio, that is the Mid Digital Culture Center, that is also partner official partner of New European Bauhaus, and additionally Cineglossa also joined the partnership. And we have we will have also Mariana from the Transit Projectes, that is a very prestigious institution here in Barcelona that is running several cultural projects. And finally, we have also Sieta, that is from B2 Rotterdam, that is one of the partners of our project AI for Future. We are four partners. I said we have Cineglossa, that is the coordinator, that now will introduce by Federico. We have also MID, a Digital Culture Center from Milan, B2 in Rotterdam, Espronceda, that is in Barcelona, and Sardinia Teatro, that is a partner that also joined the project. And now I give the voice to Mr. Federico Bomba, that will present you also the project AI for Future and what is happening now and later. Thank you very much. See you now.
Thank you, Alejandro, and good morning, everyone. I am Federico Bomba. I'm the director of Cineglossa, which is a research center on culture based in Italy, and scientific coordinator of AI for Future, which, as Alejandro was saying, is an international network of urban labs where artists and activists cooperate to co-design new ways of increasing the impact of their advocacy campaigns. So what we will do in the next year is to exploit the potential of artificial intelligence and data visualization to address some of the social issues which concern the young activists in all Europe at the moment. Of course, we will do it thanks to the support of Creative Europe, which is a program of the European Commission, which funded AI for Future. So till now, we have had 4 talks, 4 international talks in Milan and Rotterdam by now. So we are in halfway with these 2 talks, but also with the workshops that Espronceda is running in these 2 days. So yesterday we started, Espronceda started with some workshops and 1 panel last evening, which was really interesting about the way in which artists are using artificial intelligence and the risks and the opportunity of using artificial intelligence for artistic projects. There is a big hype now in the use of artificial intelligence, and the important guest discussed about the real what is an hype and what is real about, and what artificial intelligence can do with art. What will happen next? After these talks, we will launch in July an international call for artists, where we will ask these artists to relate somehow to the issues that the young activists in each city involved in the project are addressing, for creating some digital artworks. And the aim is that these young activists in Barcelona, Rotterdam, Milan, and Cagliari will adopt the installation, which is database installation, for fostering their daily fights and the daily challenges in their own cities. So we enable young people working on different societal challenges like climate, like migration, like all the issues that Europe is facing at the moment. And we hope that with the urban labs that we are setting up, creating with different stakeholders, because the urban labs will be done by artists, by activists, but we know that the ecosystems should be much more complex than that. They should involve politicians, they should involve enterprises, and they should involve research centers and NGOs. We should create inclusive ecosystems to deal with complex challenges that we are facing. So for AI for Future, as I said, is a network, and the network has just started last year, and we hope that it will increase in number and challenges. But for this first year, we've chosen a unifying topic, which is also a broad topic, which is mobility. And what we will do at the end, after the urban labs, is creating some European governance scenarios to start understanding what's the new meaning of the word mobility in this post-COVID situation and condition. So what is mobility, by the way? So it's something we definitely care because in this period, because we have missed it definitely. And the sign that me and Mr. Trussard and other people are online and some other people are offline are definitely a consequence of a changed perspective on mobility. But mobility is definitely also a very polysemic word, not just talking about the movement of some people. For instance, the Italian geographer Franco Farinelli says that there has been a change in the meaning with the growth of the modern states. So in the 17th century, there has been a change in the definition of the borders, and this gave a new meaning to the word of mobility, implying in a way a kind of immobility. And if you think of the word state is something that is fixed, and it describes the specific condition of something in a specific moment. So state itself has nothing to do with mobility. But then what happened in 1969, something started to change. So in the 1969, many things happened. So there was the moon landing. So there was an extraterrestrial mobility also. But in the same year, the first data exchange between two computers in distance happened. So internet became an important seed for the globalization and the new way of understanding mobility. But mobility, of course, in globalization, in the way in which we live it now, also carries some undesirable implication and some issues and problems that had to be addressed, and many failures also, including the way, for instance, in which we're dealing with this pandemic for some reasons, for instance. So with AI for Future, we think it's time to redefine the way we understand mobility with the fundamental help of young people, youngsters, to see how they want to shape their future. This is why the name AI for Future, Artificial Intelligence for Future. We will challenge sustainable mobility, of course, but also borders mobility, or, for instance, like we will do today, mobility between the real world and the virtual world, but also the freedom of movement, and till the mobility of our body, which has been still for a while, also with some issue about the care and the fitness and the wellness of our body, and till the mobility connected, for instance, to gender issues that we discussed with V2 and in Rotterdam with the international talks that we held with our partner. So finally, Leonardo da Vinci used to say that il moto è causa di ogni vita. So mobility is the cause of every form of life. So please, and if there is any artist, any activist, or someone who just enjoys thinking about our present to shape our future, we ask to join our conversation about for future and share new perspectives on this future. But first of all, these are the values of the new European Bauhaus. So the values that we as Cineglossa, but also embraced. And this is also the why we have here Mr. Javier Trussar, which is the head of unit of the New European Bauhaus, because we would like to hear more from him about what New European Bauhaus is, which is the new change in the vision of Europe, also new starting vision. And so thank you, welcome everyone, and thank you for being here to all of you, and to Mr. Javier Trussar. I would leave him the stage, to you the stage. So please, Javier.
Thank you very much, Federico. Thank you, Alejandro. Good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to be virtually with you. I would prefer, of course, to be in Barcelona, even if for once in Brussels we have some sun. So, that's not that bad. I will, if you allow, share my screen perhaps to support the presentation of this new initiative, the New European Bauhaus. So let me first, okay, apparently I'm not allowed to share the screen. So, I mean, we can also do it without any slide as you wish. So the New European Bauhaus.
No, you can share if you want to. Sorry.
Okay, okay. Okay, so do you see my screen? Do you see my screen? Yes?
Not for the moment.
Now? Does it work?
Not yet.
Not yet, so it's quite strange. Maybe I should stop it and start again. Wait a minute. Okay.
Now it's working.
Now it's working?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So sorry for this technical glitch. So the New European Bauhaus was coined by the President of the Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, in a speech in the European Parliament last September. And we were already a few months into the pandemics. And so for the President of the Commission, it was at the time already recognizing the need to bring a project that would allow Europeans to start thinking about how they want to live together after the pandemics, how they want to live together in better harmony with the planet because of the root causes of the pandemics itself. So that the pandemics is in a way creating a moment of crisis, but also a moment of possible change of perspective on many aspects. It affected the way we live, the way we relate to places, the way we experience perhaps also the relationship with nature. So it's a moment that calls for a different future in a way. For the president, it was of course also a way to reflect on how we could make the Green Deal, this ambition of Europe to be the first climate neutral continent by 2050, an experience for everybody. So not just something for technology, economic challenges, and industry, but something that brings a positive change to our lives. And so to achieve that, the idea was to have a project that would focus on the green transformation in the built environment, not only because the built environment is one of the sectors which is emitting a lot of carbon, but it's also because the built environment is the place where we live. It's our daily context in a way, and so that's the way to make sure that we connect the big challenges we try to tackle at European and global level with the daily reality that we all share. This project should also be a way for the president to bring the Europeans together and to create bridges across professions, backgrounds, perspectives, and cultures. And I think the meeting you're having today and trying to connect art, technology, science is a good illustration of the kind of bridges that this project is supposed to facilitate and accelerate. But in the end, this is fundamentally a design challenge that the project wants to tackle. The old Bauhaus was known for successfully developing a movement of design that runs around the motto of form follows function. And I think that's pretty much still the motto on which the design word is working. But we believe that this motto has to be revisited, and it has to be revisited to factor in the limits of the planet, but also to aim at higher social purposes in a way. So in more concrete terms, this New European Bauhaus initiative will be focusing on where we live. So it's not about building or architecture per se, but it's about the urban and rural areas where we live at district, neighborhood, village level, and the life we have in them. So we don't look only at the place, the public space, the buildings, the infrastructure, but also the way we are mobile, the way we feed ourselves, the way we live. It's fundamentally a project which is interdisciplinary, and it's a design challenge in the sense that we aim at boosting the transformation of places, integrating at the same time three fundamental dimensions. The dimension of sustainability, which is including also the move towards circular economy and more biodiversity. The challenges of inclusion, in particular, making sure that the transformation of places made them more accessible for everybody, including for elderly or disabled people, but also more affordable. So we don't want the kind of green gentrification. We want solutions that are affordable for everybody and reconnect the different parts of cities or different parts of the territory. And the third dimension that has to be integrated is the need to satisfy what people aim at beyond functionality. So we like things which work, but we like beauty, we like meaning, we like the sense of the place, we like this making sense in terms also of identity. So all these aspects have to be duly taken into account. So you're not yet in the European Bauhaus if you're just interested in energy efficiency or just interested in inclusion or just interested in art and culture. But you move into the European Bauhaus when you try to bring together those three dimensions to transform the places where we live. This project has not started with a commissioned lengthy communication or policy document. It started with a broad invitation for people to launch conversations like the one you will have today, to generate insights that can inform the design of the initiative. So that's what we call the design phase, which started officially at the beginning of the year, and which will end at the end of this month, in June. And I will let you know a bit more about what we do during this design phase. At the same time, we're thinking about how we can put together a package of initiatives that could support the delivery of the ambitions of the European Bauhaus. And when we have learned about what works, maybe we'll be ready to disseminate some good solutions across Europe, and to engage more heavily with international partners. So that's about the timeline. We have around this initiative also a high-level roundtable, which has conversations with the president and the two lead commissioners, Commissioner Gabriel and Commissioner Ferreira, and they are a source of inspiration also throughout the design phase. What do we do during the design phase? We collect insights from people. So we have more than 1,400 inputs for the time being. People are sharing with us examples of what they find inspiring for the European Bauhaus. They share also their ideas and their visions for the future. They share also the challenges and what they need to achieve the goals of the European Bauhaus. We also successfully launched a call for partners. So we have now more than 150 partners. They come from the very local level up to the international level, and they cover a wide range of sectors. And they are all committed in very concrete ways to support the new initiative. And the call will be permanent, so even after June, any organization which is interested and committed to do some concrete things for the new European Bauhaus can join. We successfully launched also a call for applications for prizes, and we have more than 2,000 applications that will be selected over the summer, and there will be a prize award ceremony in September. So what we've been doing is really to try to nourish our thinking about the new initiative in collecting as many examples of what people believe is needed, what people believe is inspiring, what people believe should be tackled. We're making sense of these elements. What we see coming is pretty much that people consider that it's really at very local level that we should tackle the big issues, that we should have an equal attention to what is the kind of physical built environment, but also what is the underlying socioeconomic reality around the environment. So they really want us to have an equal attention to those two dimensions. In terms of needs, what is interesting and in a way surprising or changing compared to the normal messages we get is that people tell us that money is not necessarily what they need first, and that people tell us that they need at times institutional recognition, access to networks, access to knowledge. So I think there's a need for some form of community support around this project, and that's something we will be looking at. All the contributions we receive are progressively shared on the website, so you can also make sense of what we receive for your own perspective. And so we will transparently report in September. In September, the Commission will also adopt
Perhaps Mr. Trousseau lost the connection. We wait for a moment. Yes, please.
Do you hear me?
The last minute we lost the connection.
Okay, so but I will just try now to conclude on the delivery with a few points in terms of what we aim at actually achieving in terms of change. So there are 4 levels where we will concentrate our efforts probably. One is that we need places where the concept is actually implemented. So we need as many places as possible. So there may be some emblematic places where we try to have a demonstration effect, but we need also to bring capacity and to empower as many local authorities and local players to bring the transformation into their places. So that's the first type of support that we will try to put in place. The second kind of support is related to one big enabler, which is the business ecosystem around the built environment and its transformation, and the idea that we should be quicker in bringing new ideas to the market, also as a way to make new solutions more affordable for all. The third area is maybe one which is closer to what you will be discussing today, and what's the project about is about changing the mindset, changing the culture, and changing the perspective. And here, I think that that's where probably the kind of projects you have is probably very powerful. The last element is that we think that this transformation process is also a community business. So it's about bringing people together that have the same kind of will wherever they come from, and this process should be supported, including to have an effective exchange of experience, exchange of knowledge. So we are going to reflect also about what are the needs of this new European Bauhaus community to perform in a transformative way. So in the end, we will gather and coordinate a number of EU instruments, and we will try also to mobilize some instruments that are managed with the member states and with the regions, to make sure that we have an effective support for this transformation. So in a nutshell, that's what the project is about. Your conversation today important for us that you share the results of your conversation as an input to our design phase on our website. So over to you, Alejandro and Federico.
Yes, thank you, Javier. I have 2 questions. No, 1 question, I would say, if I can, because you spoke about business and enterprises, and I'm wondering how they are reacting, if they are already reacting, because the new European Bauhaus is a powerful movement, and we realized that because many people already were working in Europe about, not in a systemic way, but as you said, we need to change also the business, which would be a very big challenge for Europe. Do you already have some hints about that, or some about the way in which the enterprises are getting that? Because usually, in my experience, enterprises about these topics are the slowest one usually to enter and to make their own values other values, because they are very focused on their products and on their business. So I was just wondering if you had some perceptions of what's going on.
Thank you, Federico. I think you're right. I mean, the business sector has been slower probably than other sectors in the society to respond to our call and to launch some conversations. Some sector have seen in the European Bauhaus an opportunity. So I think all the businesses that work around nature-based solutions, for example, have mobilized themselves and tried to broach conversations about what they can bring to the New European Bauhaus. But we have also some businesses that through foundations or other activities that are not strictly speaking linked to their business, that have launched some conversation. So it is still evolving. We see also some conversations organized more at regional level, which bring together different actors. And I think that's the kind of hope we had also, is that not to have the traditional representative of businesses or representatives of the art or representatives of this or that sector to tell us what they think, but rather to have conversations among themselves, bringing some new ideas about how we could improve the synergies, the collaboration, and get some new ideas off the ground. So that was the whole idea of the power of the conversation that we wanted to highlight. So some businesses were also involved in these kind of conversations, and so that's the way we get them in.
Thank you very much, Mr. Xavier Trusso. I think it's a great challenge, and we believe a lot in Espronceda in this process of putting together international and local organizations and like you say, to discuss and after to think together in collaborative projects, because finally what we want is that we create a new future together that is will be also a consensus, but also a creative way. And that's why we are very happy that all the projects we are involved is the art thinking behind, because I think artists during all the periods of the history were visionaries, and I think it's very good to get them on board, because this is also a way that they could inspire the industry, they could inspire also what is happening in the policymakers, etc. For us, like an art institution, is our role also to put value of the artists on all this process. Thank you. I don't know if Federico has more question, or you have a final comment.
Maybe a last word on the power of art. I was last week in the conversations with writers that and people from the cinema world, and I think one thing which struck me and what one writer said was that the power of art is to free minds, and I think that's precisely what we need. We don't need a kind of propaganda for the green transformation, but we need to free the mind of people for them to search for more. And the European Bauhaus is about this search for more beauty, for more sustainability, but also what comes with it, health and pleasant places to live in. And for more inclusion, that is more togetherness, more sense of a community. And so if then the power of art can come to free minds so that people can imagine that they can get more, I'm sure that it will work. So thank you in advance for your contribution to this project.
Yes, Javier, I think that you just got the point, because for a long time artists have been seen as like the one who could tell a story about something else. So the one just, as you were saying, about propaganda. And it has been very difficult to understand that artists could also enter enterprises and business for doing research and development, because sometimes engineers are very focused on what they can do and what they know how to do, but sometimes they don't see in a broader way, because their experience and their expertise is actually on doing very well some things. So the power of this new movement is that artists can enter for changing the rules from the inside, together with all the other actors and stakeholders. They are not the ones who arrive at the end saying, oh, how beautiful the Green Deal is. but they are the one also, and also artificial intelligence in this project, and this is why we call it artificial intelligence for futures. And why we chose artificial intelligence is because artificial intelligence is not just programmers who write code, but it also deals with data, and data are contents. So if you give good data to algorithms, so you will have good outputs. If you give biased data and bad data, you will have bad solutions. So for data and contents, we need the humanists, so we need artists to understand which kind of data we want to give to artificial intelligence. And this is why also artificial intelligence is very connected, in our opinion, to a European Bauhaus, because it's an interdisciplinary technology. It's not like just a scientific one. So.
Perfect. I think it was a wonderful start of the day of all the conversations we are having this morning and also this afternoon, because we are invited. We have a wonderful panel discussion also this afternoon with several collectives that are putting together culture and art with social impact, that I think finally we are working for a better society. That is our final goal. And I hope the people follow us in direct, but also we will offer the content later that will be available for the people who wants to see. And also this from the conversations today, this morning, and this afternoon, we will have a final report, also like conclusions that we will share with everybody. And I think perhaps we could, let's say, stop here this conversation. I don't know if Xavier and Federico wants to add something more, and we are now waiting our guest. And I do a final invitation to Federico and Xavier to come to Barcelona, because we have a wonderful city that also works in this direction very much. And today we have also a wonderful installation from the artist Refik Anadol that is artificial intelligence screen based in data of the mind of the electric waves of the minds of the people. That means that we have here the thoughts and the dreams of a lot of people in our space. Thank you very much, and see you soon.
Thank you, Alejandro, and have a nice day. Bye.
Ciao. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.